Hello everyone. Thank you everyone for taking the time to participate in this course. And my name is Aoxuan. And today I will show everyone how to control 3D connect using the Oculus Quest 2 in Unity VR. So we have only 4 parts in this course. The part 1 is I will introduce VR in 2 ways. One is what is VR, and another one is how can we do with VR. And part 2, I will introduce the equipment, Oculus Quest 2, and the software, Unity. And part 3 is the development process. I will step by step to show guys how to set up in Unity. And the last part is the test demo. So let's see the first part. From this video, I will spend 3 minutes to tell everyone.
On this episode of The Donut Shop, what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a technology that allows you to be anyone, do anything, or go anywhere you can possibly imagine. It's a digital technology that allows you to step inside of a piece of content, inside of a video game, or be part of a film. A lot of times VR is also grouped with augmented reality or AR and 360 video. Those are a little bit different, and we'll talk about those in more detail later, but today we're going to stay focused on virtual reality. There's 3 key components that are required to create a good VR experience. You need the hardware, you need to have trackability, which we'll talk about in a second, and also interactivity. The hardware part's pretty straightforward. You need a VR headset. Most VR headsets have 2 lenses, because we have 2 eyes, and a digital screen inside. The second part is that trackability. So you have to be able to move around in a VR experience, and that really is what makes it immersive compared to a video game or a film. On one side note there, real quick, early VR headsets had delay in the trackability of the headset, which caused nausea. So if you haven't tried VR in a while, or the first time you tried it made you sick, definitely recommend you give it a try again, because things have changed. All right, so the third component is interactivity. So using controllers, or even your hands in some fancier systems, you actually have the ability to do things inside of a VR experience. That interactivity is key to helping create that presence and that sense of immersion inside of the VR experience. So where did VR get started? VR has been around since the 1960s, believe it or not. People have been working on this technology for a really long time. However, it wasn't until 2015 when Facebook bought a little company called Oculus, and that is really what pushed this technology into the public domain. However, just in the last 2 or 3 years, the technology has improved massively. You don't need a big, heavy-duty $2,000 computer anymore, or hang a bunch of crazy sensors around your room. All you need is a headset, a couple of controllers, and plenty of time to lose yourself in the amazing experiences that are available on these headsets. What are some good use cases for this technology? The first one that most people think about is gaming. Step inside of a video game is a pretty cool thing to do. Another great use case for this stuff, where we're seeing it save hundreds of thousands of dollars in the real world, is training and simulation. UPS is using this technology to train their drivers. The military has been using this for years to train soldiers and pilots and the like. So training and simulation, great use cases for this technology. It's also has huge benefits as a sales and marketing tool. Let's say you're an architect and you want to show someone what the inside of your new building looks like. Well, that's hard to do until you actually build the building. With VR, you can now do that. Another great use case for this technology is around the travel, meditation, and also in the healthcare space. So we're seeing this technology used to help diagnose concussions. Let's say you sit in traffic for an hour, you get to work, you're all stressed out. Hey man, pop on your VR headset and go sit on the beach for a few minutes and breathe. You'll have a much better day. So that's it for this episode.
So from this video, we will know what is VR, and this video we will know about how can we do with VR.
Virtual reality hasn't exactly seen the booming success in gaming and entertainment that was once expected.
Let's do this.
But this VR has a totally different purpose: keeping workers safe.
I'm going to go ahead and say evacuate for half mile.
It could also keep VR alive.
Wow, looks like we made the right call.
At a time when headset shipments have been down 4 of the last 5 quarters, and just a month after IMAX announced it will close all its VR centers this year. Market forecasts predict spending on virtual and augmented reality headsets for training is expected to reach $2.2 billion by 2022. And companies like startup Pixo VR are taking notice.
I think we learned our lesson doing mobile apps, that it's much more difficult. The budgets aren't necessarily there, and this made a lot more sense for us.
Push your hand just a little bit into the wall.
Pixo VR made the switch 2 years ago, from creating video games to creating training modules.
Obviously flammable, explosion risk.
Like this one, which teaches first responders how to identify and react to explosive chemical leaks.
VR provides an opportunity for people to train in environments that otherwise are impossible. Far too risky, far too expensive.
By simply putting on an HTC Vive headset, workers can experience life and death situations that are impossible to safely recreate in real life.
Here we go, going up.
Like a rickety 15-story construction site without solid scaffolding.
I'm really high up. Oh my gosh.
You make a
I
decision
think I'm gonna hook it to this rope up here.
and suffer the consequences if you choose wrong.
Oh my god.
The sensation of falling is so real, it's immediately clear this experience will stick with me.
I died.
I'll remember that fall and which safety measures I should have followed far longer than I'll remember any PowerPoint slide.
That felt very real.
There's research to back this up, too. One study found students had 30% better knowledge retention 2 weeks after learning with VR, as opposed to traditional education methods.
There's a whole bunch of research that shows that if you are a human and you interact with something in 3 dimensions, as opposed to just looking at it on a piece of paper, you understand it much more profoundly and fundamentally. It's just the way that our brains are wired.
And there's a big need for more effective training. Last month, the National Safety Council announced that preventable workplace deaths have been on the rise in the U.S. for 3 years in a row.
Essentially, 14 people every day leave their homes for work and don't come home. This is absolutely unacceptable, and there are things that we can do about it. Technology like AR and VR are really going to engineer the human error out of these equations, but we've got to start to really do the research to understand what's working and what just has potential so that we can give employers the best resources available to help make their workers safer.
This year, the NSC will begin a 2-year, $500,000 research project to study the effectiveness of VR and AR, among other technologies, for reducing workplace fatalities.
Workplace fatalities and injuries have consistently cost society more than $150 billion every year. So while there certainly is upfront costs in investing in new technologies, those technologies will save companies in the long run with a reduction in fatalities and injuries.
One startling number, 713 workers fell to their deaths in 2017, a number that Hurwitz is hoping will go way down once workers start training on Pixo VR's fall prevention module.
And hopefully we'll see the numbers go down for accidents and certainly fatalities. You know, it's something that the entire company has got behind because we know we're making lives better.
Hurwitz is in good company. Most of the major players in the VR space have begun using their software and their headsets for workplace training.
The return on investment in the commercial space is so profound for some of these key scenarios, like remote assistance, like laying out physical spaces, like guiding someone through a complex process, that these things literally pay for themselves very quickly. So that's where we're seeing the most interest in investment right now.
Microsoft's HoloLens, technically an AR.
So from these 2 videos, we know what is VR and how can we do with VR. So the next, I will introduce the equipment and software. So about the equipment, we use the Oculus Quest 2. And from this video, we will know what is the Oculus Quest 2. So the biggest further about the Oculus Quest 2 is all-in-one device for enjoyment. So there still have others further. So the first one is easy to set up and breathing fast performance and the games fitness and more. So now we begin to get the connection to the PC. Yeah. So the first step, you have to download the Oculus Setup and log in. So the next step, you get in the setting button and choose the journal and choose this button to allow unknown sources. So the next step, we click the device and add our headset. And we choose the Quest 2 and we click the continue button, choose the link to get the connection. So from now, it's all the setup in equipment on PC. So the next step, we build the setup in Oculus. So the first step, you have to draw your area, and the next step is gradient active, and the last step is about the pass-through. You have to make sure. So when you finish these three steps, you have to choose the enable Oculus link and get in the setting button and choose allow the air link. So you can see you have been success on your PC. So you can here is the green light. So this all this all about the equipment and PC setup. So let's get in the software to the Unity to set up. So the first step, you have to create a new project. We choose this one and click the correct button, and then we get in the Unity store. I mean the Access store to download the Oculus in interaction and input it. So when we finish the input, we get in the package manager in the window button and click the package manager, and we choose this one to show preview packages, and we install this one XR Integration Toolkit. Yeah, and we get in the project setting and choose the XR polygon. We choose the PC logo to download the Oculus and the Windows Mixed Reality. And then we choose the Android window to download to install the Oculus too. So the next step, we have to switch our platform. We get in the building setting and choose the Android platform, and we click the switch platform. And when we finish the switch, we click the run device, choose the all devices. So from now, that's all the settings in Unity. And then I will show everyone how to development in the Unity. So when we finish our setup, we will see these things, and we click the access and get in the senses to create a new one sense. Here, and we name this new sense is VR. And we double click to get in. So here you will see we already getting the VR sense, and here we delete the non-camera. We don't need it. So now we create a plan first. Yeah, and we have to make sure the position is 0, 0, 0. Yeah, and we make this panel. Okay. So the next, we give it a color, black color. So how can we save this material? We just click the red button, and here we the material, and we name this material is black. So, and from here we can choose the color, and you can see here it already saved it. So next time you just hold it to here. So the next step, we create a game project and give it name as the VR XRV. Yeah. So, and we add a component, also XRV. Okay, you can see also make sure the position to 0, 0, 0. Yeah. So we can see if we want to use the XRV, we have to list two things. One is the camera floor offset, and another one is camera beam object. So next step, we create a floor, the camera object. So we click here to create game object and name it VR offset. And then we create a camera and name this camera is VR camera. Yeah. So, and we create the VR camera and add the component is add track track post driver. Yeah, and we can see here is a device. We choose the first one, and the post cursor we get in the center eye. So now we go back to the XR and we hold it to here and the camera to here. So and we choose the tracking orange mode to the floor. So from this set, we have already finished the camera setting. So so the next step, we create so next step, we create a controller. We just finished the camera setting. Now, if we play it, we can't see our hand. So we just, the next step, we create the controller. So we create a game object and name it is controller. And create a simple code. Also, make sure its position is 0, 0, 0. So the code is too big, we just yeah, it's done and give it color. Red color. So when we finish this step, we code it to here to save it. So this step we finish the controller. Yeah. And we we are offset to create two beam objects, and name one is the left hand, and another one is the right hand. So we choose all of them, and we add a component is the XR controller device here. And you can see here we have to make sure this name and the controller node, they have the same name. So here is the left hand, and we choose, we change this to the same name. And you can see here is the right name, yeah. So the next step, we hold on a second. So here, you can see here, the mode profile there is none. So we just give it to here, and the right hand here. Now it's all about the settings in. We finish our settings in Unity. So if we click the play button, we can see our camera and our hand. So we can do whatever you want. So here I create a simple demo about the bowling. So we can see. I click the play button, and you can see my hand, a simple hand. So I can pick it up, the ball, and switch to another hand. So yeah, that's all. Just a simple demo. You also can switch real hand on to instead this simple code. So that's all. That's all source in this class. So if anyone have some problem, anyone? Or if you don't have, we just finish this class. Okay, thank you guys. Bye bye. Okay, bye guys.